बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम गाइस। मैं हूँ बिलाल और आप देख रहे हैं हमेशा की तरह क्राइम बेस्ड एंड चैनल। उम्मीद रखता हूँ कि आप सब तो खैरियत से होंगे। तो गाइस, आज हम आपके लिए एक ऐसी वीडियो जो नेपाल के आर्मी के बारे में काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग और ज़बरदस्त वीडियो है, तो वीडियो एंड तक ज़रूर देखा गाइस क्योंकि बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त वीडियो है। तो गाइस चलो देखते हैं कि वीडियो में आखिर ऐसा क्या है जो नेपाल की आर्मी। चलिए, क्या म्यूजिक है यार।
The Armed Police Force of Nepal is an elite paramilitary force tasked with counter-insurgency and security operations in Nepal. It functions as a semi-military wing and occupies the dual role of both military and law enforcement. The fundamental ethos of our force is any task, anytime, any place, and its preparedness to shed dew and blood to achieve its motto: peace, security, and commitment. The Armed Police Force of Nepal swung into operation in 2001. Acts of terrorism, insurgency sparked an urgent need for an elite force that would specialize in land warfare and cope with growing incidents of violence. Late Krishna Mohan Shrestha from Nepal Police, the then Additional Inspector General of Police, being promoted to Inspector General of Armed Police Force, was the first chief and the founding father of the force. Initially founded with a humble roster of 15,000 police and military personnel, the Armed Police Force has grown over the years to a mighty corps of nearly 37,000 personnel at the close of 2016. Ever since its inception, the Armed Police Force has taken every challenge on its path as an opportunity. Every obstacle has been a chance to prove its mettle. Over the years, Armed Police Force has become the strength of our nation, a concrete backbone, an unwavering layer of national security that stands firm between the peace-loving people of Nepal and its adversaries. The first and foremost duty of an armed police force soldier is to secure and protect the borders of our nation. The porous border between Nepal and its neighbor is highly prone to territorial disputes and transporter crimes. Activities like illegal immigration, infiltration of anti-national elements, smuggling of arms and explosives, gold, money and drugs, and girl trafficking constantly pose a serious threat to our nation. Joint patrols are carried out in the southern border by the Armed Police Force and the Indian SSB on a regular basis to keep a check on such illegal activities. Each and every movement to the custom checkpoint is thoroughly inspected by our soldiers to ensure that nothing goes free. Our Hawkeyes along the borders send a strong message to the enemies of our country that for our forces, the territories of our motherland are sacrosanct. At war or in peace, at the country's borders or deep within, with the force of arms or with the power of personality, it is this, the gallant armed police force, who stands unwavering at his post to defend his uniform and his motherland and safeguard values of democracy, national integrity and sovereignty. When our soldiers are not waging a war, they are training for one. And to crush the enemies of our nation, our soldiers need to possess unmatched physical strength and stamina and razor-sharp tactical strength. The Armed Police Force cadets go through rigorous regimen every day to conquer the physical and mental frontier and hone their weaponry skills to perfection. The Armed Police Force soldier is carefully sculpted to show utmost calm while being lethally precise. The spectrum of intense drills that our soldiers undergo prepares their body and mind to assume responsible leadership during crisis and become masters of warfare. For centuries, Nepal has been known around the world as a peace-loving and tranquil nation. But as the world becomes embroiled in hatred and violence, our enemies have developed many faces. The most dastardly of them is terrorism, where war is waged from the shadows. The sons and daughters of the Armed Police Force are always prepared at the forefront to fight the battle against terror, to fight threats that try to undermine the strength and resilience of our motherland. Our soldiers go through meticulous drills to tackle real-life hostage situations and rescue victims from captivity or in the event of serious crimes or unrest. When all seems lost for others, our brave hearts stand and fight against the dark forces. Our soldiers make no compromise on security and integrity of our country and with people who incite violence. The code of an APF soldier is to always protect those in need. It could be a natural calamity, an unwarranted accident, or a humanitarian crisis. Our soldiers are trained to respond fast during emergency situations and be at the forefront of any national effort. The Disaster Management Training Center in Kuringta is ideally located for the APF soldiers to train alongside nature. Given the diverse terrain within which the APF operates, the training must cover a wide spectrum of rescue drills. Be it whitewater expeditions, rope drills, or abseiling. Those who live up to the challenge come out not only with a vast knowledge of life-saving skills, but also a new level of self-confidence born from facing adversity and overcoming it. With a perfect combination of intelligence, courage, and determination, our soldiers are ready to take on any task, anywhere, at any time. Nature too can be an unpredictable force of devastation. Nepal is a country gifted by nature in many aspects, but it is also cursed at times by natural calamities. The Armed Police Force has given hope for thousands of people during times of adversity, be it floods, fires, landslides, or earthquakes. The massive earthquake of 2015 saw the Armed Police Force participate in its biggest disaster relief operation. Within minutes of the powerful earthquake, our soldiers rose to the occasion with matchless alacrity. The Armed Police Force successfully rescued a total of 982 earthquake victims alive and administered relief camps in 4,900 locations across the country. Our soldiers are not just combat forces, they are messiahs. They are ubiquitous and resourceful. And whenever duty calls, even the nature's fury cannot stand against their fortitude and determination. As a paramilitary force with the basic role of a catalyst in maintaining law and order, our soldiers are assigned to protect public vital installations, infrastructure, and other facilities assigned by the government of Nepal. Additional duties include personal security details for VIPs and protection of diplomatic facilities. In recent years, industries in Nepal have been hit by unwanted violence and targeted by criminals. The Armed Police Force has structured a separate mechanism to provide security to industries and curb smuggling along the border. Similarly, sites of religious, historic and touristic importance that have become vulnerable to theft and smuggling after the earthquake are also under the constant scanner of the Armed Police Force. Our soldiers stand vigil round the clock to protect religious and cultural heritage that constitute an integral part of our national identity. A country's national strength is built through international goodwill. Nepal's strength has been recognized internationally through the heroic deeds and professional excellence of our bravehearts on the ground. The Armed Police Force takes pride in contributing its soldiers for peacekeeping missions under the coveted blue flag of the United Nations for global peace and security. Since 2002, over 7,000 members of the Armed Police Force have participated in UN peacekeeping missions as both monitors and advisors to countries like Iraq, Kosovo, Sierra Leone, Haiti, Sudan, and East Timor. Our forces have taken part in some of the most difficult operations under the UN and have suffered numerous casualties in its service. Despite this, Nepal's policy and commitment has always remained on ensuring world peace and strengthening of the world order. Leadership is the cornerstone of any military organization. The ethos, professionalism, and leadership within it are effectively the catalyst responsible for harnessing the force's capabilities towards nation building and national security. The Inspector General is the Chief of Armed Police Force and is responsible for looking after the routine affairs of the organization. Under his command, 6 additional Inspector Generals are responsible for looking after the APF's administration, operations, human resources, academy, border security, and metro. Our leaders live up to the high traditions of the Armed Police Force. They make sound and timely decisions, supervise and employ the units in accordance with their capabilities, and ensure that everyone adheres to the code of honor. Under their guardianship, The soldiers are molded into being future commanders of character, committed to the values of duty, honor, and country. Our forces also have a lighter facet to their personality. At the end of the day, a break is well deserved for an APF officer from his grinding daily routine. And to keep alive the regimental spirit, a soiree is held where the past and the present come together, and the brother-in-arms celebrate in the atmosphere of mutual conviviality.
गाइस क्या वीडियो थी यार। एपीएफ के नाम पे जो वीडियो है, आर्म पुलिस ऑफिसर जो है, इसके बारे में ये वीडियो तो काफ़ी ज़बरदस्त थी। अगर देखा जाए तो आर्मी 7 से 7 जगह भी जाती है, अगर वो माउंटेन हो, चाहे वो पानी हो, ठंडा पानी हो, चाहे वो बिल्डिंग वगैरह गिर जाए तो उसमें भी वो लोग की हेल्प करते हैं। तो गाइस ये वीडियो आपको यकीनन बहुत ही पसंद आई होगी। तो मैं तो नेपाली आर्मी के लिए ख़ास सलूट देता हूँ, ज़बरदस्त वीडियो से बनाई हुई। तो इंशाल्लाह गाइस मिलेंगे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक इजाज़त हूँ। अल्लाह।